The toys are back in town. It's been almost 2.5 decades since they first showed up, and yet they're still milking it for all it's worth. Toy Story 4. I didn't think it was possible. But once again, Pixar has proved that they can tug at your heartstrings while emptying out your wallet. I'm just kidding. But seriously, this was a much better movie than I expected. The classic toys are back: Woody, Buzz, and obviously from the poster, Bo Peep. All the others, including Potato Head, voiced by the late great uh, um, Don Rickles, whose voice was archived and used with the permission of his family to give Mr. Potato Head one last hurrah. I did distinctly notice that Mrs. Potato Head was silent, and I think her actress has passed on too. Not sure though. But like I said, all the classic toys are back, and the new ones are hilarious. Even the villains, well, quote unquote villains, were good. I mean, so many of the characters got arcs. I don't want to spoil it, but they had real depth. And speaking of depth, the effects were phenomenal. The opening sequence was shot in the rain, and it looked so real. I thought I was seeing live action stuff. I thought they were using real toy models for some of the sequences. This just shows how far the CGI has come in the last 24 years. It's unbelievable. Meanwhile, the story is pretty straightforward. The girl that Andy gave all the toys to is starting kindergarten, and she made her own little toy called Forky, basically a trash fork with some other bits that were dug out of the trash. She's very inventive, but not very sanitary. Anywho, it somehow comes to life, possibly due to how the pieces were collected. I'm not sure, but yeah, basically she created life. Well, toy life. And the whole surviving cast and the new cast really were able to breathe new life and personality into these classic characters, and for the first time breathe life and personality into new characters. I was especially impressed by the quote-unquote villain. That's her on the left of the poster. She's super creepy at first, but also super sympathetic. I mean, you root for her early in the film. And I don't want to spoil it, but let's just say her arc was pretty satisfying, but it didn't go exactly the way you expected it to go. Meanwhile, the main toys go through their own arc, and to a degree it's bittersweet, but at the same time, it's also pretty satisfying, although it may hamper future Toy Story films. Although I would like to see what direction they take this new, what do you call? Paradigm, I believe it's called, this new paradigm for the franchise. Because let's just say things will never be the same. The music, classic Toy Story, mixed with a few new songs that were pretty decent. Overall, Toy Story 4 is probably not for everyone. I'm recording this after all the other critics have said their piece, and I'm sure they eviscerated it, or were at least disappointed. But honestly, despite this being the fourth film in a franchise that's been here since the mid-90s, I thought Toy Story 4 was a short, sweet, fairly self-contained, fairly entertaining, straight-to-the-point story that kept my attention and tugged at my heartstrings when it was supposed to, and it made these hunks of plastic and cloth far more human than when they started. I look at these characters, I see living beings living their lives. It made me care about them even more. And that's saying something. This is Mr. J signing out and reminding you, the toys will never go out of style. They're a part of all our childhoods, and they should be saved for future generations.